Mm. Good morning, girls. Happy Friday. So, hope you're all doing well. It's a little bit darker here than normal. Really need to know who moved this time change into November because, oh lordy, this is really hard to get up before the sun and start functioning. But, it is what it is. So, good morning. We're out of Friday. How awesome is that we've made it through another week? We're halfway through October, girls, which means that end of the year is coming, and it's really time for us. I like this time of year because it allows us to kind of examine where we are and where we think we want to go, where God might be calling us, things we need to shift and change in our life. So this is a great time of year of reflection. We always talk about when seasons change is a good time to change some of what we do. And that's really the truth. We look at the seasons changing now. We look at the leaves dropping, where I call them naked trees. When we first moved out here, I was like, why are the trees dead? But they go dormant for the winter, and then they come back beautiful and green, and the flowers everywhere. But it's a season of change. And sometimes we need to go through these changes in our life, whether it is focusing on our mindset, our spirit, our walk with God, or possibly health-wise, we need to make some adjustments. So look at fall as a time of adjustment, of change, and identifying and seeking your body and God and just what's in your head. What needs to shift? It's kind of like we say this time of year when the time change happens, we change the batteries on our smoke detectors and carbon monoxide. So why aren't we changing what's in our life? So it's a good time to reflect, and I want to challenge you this weekend that maybe you'll reflect on areas of your life that you feel God would want you to strengthen and grow in, and make that part of the plan for these last couple of months. And I know it's hard. It's really hard to start making changes towards the holidays because there's so much chaos going on. But I think a lot of our chaos we bring on ourselves. And I say that because I used to do that. Remember when we first got married, we bought our first house in Riverside, California. And my birth father was going to come out with his wife, and then my husband's mom and the family that they had there, brother and cousin and aunt and grandma or something like that. All of them were coming. Well, no pressure on a new bride who's sitting there going, okay, I have to perform and prepare this meal for these people, and I have to have my house in order. And, I had this fear because I had known my dad. I met him a couple of years prior, several years prior, but I never had him in my home. We kind of met when he came into town, or I came out to Virginia or whatever. And I had this fear and this picture of Greg's family sitting around and nitpicking the food, and my dad walking around, my birth father, walking around with a white glove on his hand checking for dust. And his grandma, Greg's grandma, right behind us doing the same thing. I was horrified. And on top of that, my birth father and his wife were staying in our home. I fell apart, girls. I went in the bathroom and I cried and I cried. And I'm like, God, help me. I can't do this. And he did. He opened up scripture. We keep a Bible in the bathroom. Yes, we do. You never know how long you're going to be in there. But I just read, and there was so much peace from that. And I walked out, and girls, I'm going to tell you, I probably rocked the best Thanksgiving dinner in Riverside County that day. There wasn't a word at the table, and there were no leftovers. My turkey came out perfect. Everything else was beautiful. And I can cook. I'm a cook. I love to cook. I'd compete on these cooking shows if I could put up with all the not nice people playing, but I don't know that I can emotionally do it. But what I want to share with you, and why I share that, is letting you know, and it goes right into our topic today, about being flawsome. And I'm sure you looked at the topic for today and went, what the heck is Robin doing today? Well, flawsome is a word. It is a real word. It is in the Urban Dictionary. It is real. I did look it up. But what happened is I was perfectly flawed, okay? I was perfect in the eyes of Christ, but I was flawed in what was happening because I was overwhelmed. And see, there's people, and okay, out of that, I became flawsome. God shined brightly through that incident. We got people that are getting ready to do something God has called you to because you're afraid of failing. You're afraid of the flaws that you may have in your own life. But girls, we're flawsome. And okay, let's go to the dictionary. Let's start there because some of you may have seen this word in memes before, may have heard it, and others may think, Robin, you're crazy. Where'd you come up with this? It is a word. Hold on. I keep swallowing dust. So out of the Urban Dictionary, flawsome is real. Its definition is something that is totally awesome, but not without its flaws. It's an adjective, and it is an individual who embraces their flaws and knows they are awesome regardless. To me, that sounds like a woman of God who thrives. Let's read that again. Flawsome, something that is totally awesome, but not without its flaws. It is an adjective. It's an individual who embraces their flaws and knows they are awesome regardless. That, my friends, is a woman of God who thrives. Because see, we're not perfect. We weren't made perfect. But we were created in His image. Therefore, we are awesome. We are perfect in His eyes. That's a hard concept to embrace. And I still don't know that I totally embrace that. Because I can look in the mirror. I can look here. And I've got to stare at myself while I'm talking to y'all. Okay? Because it makes me look at you. Look at me, not you. And it's like, there's part of me, there's that monkey chatter that goes on that starts telling me what I'm not. Oh, look at your hair. You don't have makeup on. Oh, you coughed. Oh, you sneezed. You know, whatever. But we're flawsome. And the Bible tells us this because it tells us in Psalm 139, verse 14, I will praise you, that's God, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. Girls, we are flawsome. We just have to be able to be okay with our flaws. We have to be okay when, a great example is we create something, or maybe we go to one of those painting classes. And I love doing those. Greg and I love to go do, they call them the wine and paint or whatever. We just don't take the wine with us. We just go paint, and we actually painted cupcakes together. Maybe one day I'll post a picture of those. But we both painted a cupcake. And oh my gosh. Part of me looks at both of them and said, we rock. And we did such a great job. We had so much fun together. And then part of me is like, then there's that side of me that wants to see that perfection. And that doesn't look like a cupcake. Why didn't that go this way? And why doesn't the frosting look like this? Okay, we're flawsome, girls. We are flawed. There's areas in our life because we're not perfect. But we are awesome because we are the daughters of the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords. And He says here, we were fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works. God did not say His works are mediocre, so-so. They are marvelous, and we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Oh, girls, embrace your flawsome. Understand, you have flaws. We all have flaws. It could be the way we deliver something when we're speaking. It could be our interpretation of something. It could be, we trip over our feet going up on a stage. You know, it could be anything. You know, it could be that, like this mutt behind me, he styles my hair before I get on the camera. Yeah, okay, that's a mess. He gets his nose in, and he goes all over the place because he wants to check out Mama and make sure she's okay. I'm really not sure what he's doing, but, you know, I gotta love him anyway. But you're Flawsome, and it's okay. Whatever your flaws are, girls, and I know you've got them because I've seen some of your posts on social about it, it's okay because you're still awesome. Because you were created in His image, fearfully and wonderfully made, and it says in there, marvelous are His works. Nowhere in that Bible does it say that God's works are mediocre, average, so-so, less than par. So can you embrace your flaws and understand that you're Flawsome, that you are totally awesome with your flaws through Jesus Christ? Isn't that amazing to think about? That we don't have to be so concerned and fix the flaws. Fix these areas in our life before we can be out there thriving. Before we can be a woman of God that holds up our head knowing we're the daughter of the King of Kings. Girls, I challenge you today to embrace whatever it is in your life and start to own that definition. There's nothing wrong with being okay with your flaws. There's nothing wrong with thriving as you are. Because that's actually what God wants. So again, let's look at one more time because we're going to wrap this one up. I want you to really think about this word today and then get out there. And I want you to get out there and I want you to walk today and carry yourself as somebody who is Flawsome. And when somebody asks you, Robin, why have you got such bounce in your step and your head is so high today? And look at that smile. Oh, because I'm perfectly Flawsome. And keep walking. Because they're either going to laugh, because they're going to know what it means, or they're going to be like, what the heck are you talking about? And that gives you an opportunity to share that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and marvelous are God's works. We are Flawsome because of Jesus Christ. And one more time, being Flawsome just means that you're willing to embrace your flaws, still knowing who you are in Christ Jesus. Okay? So hopefully that's a great word for you today. If it's a new word for you, that's awesome. Some of you guys may have seen this floating around, like I said before, on social. But it's a fun word, and it really brings a smile to your face when you say it, because you can't say Flawsome without smiling. So embrace your flaws, ladies. It's okay. Because some of those flaws are only flaws to you, not everybody else. Don't be so hard on yourself. Be gentle on yourself. And turn to the one who has made you fearfully and wonderfully in His image. All right? Have a blessed day. Go be Flawsome. All right? Love y'all. Bye.